Hey, Rach. I decided to let's see. I just did a completely random live on YouTube just to see what happens. I didn't announce it. I didn't tell anybody. I'm good. Thanks for asking. I am just so curious to see how many people actually go live on here. So far, we're up to 3. Yeah, my guys are like, no TikTok tonight. You're gonna go on YouTube. I'm like, YouTube? They're like, yes. You started a YouTube channel. Start going live there. I was like, okie dokie. So how are you guys doing tonight? Thank you for my guides. Yes. Oh, you wrote gods. Well, you know what? I have to sometimes feel like they're like that, but only because of how I feel around them sometimes. But definitely guides. Awesome. Yeah, it was. I'm up in New York. It was almost 90 degrees up here today. A little warm. My kids are all over the place though. I got one in Florida, one in the Dominican Republic. One of them's in. Oh, actually, one just got back from Baltimore, so it's not too bad. Good. I'm good. Thanks for asking. I just wanted to go live tonight and just say hello and maybe do a couple readings in the comment section. I was trying to figure out how to do readings here to pull people up live, but there's no way to do it. There's just absolutely no way to do it. They don't have that capability yet. I know they're working on it, so I'm pretty sure that pretty soon we're going to be able to do that, which is kind of cool. But until then, I can do readings in the comment section. So that's why I wanted to go live tonight. And um, if you guys have any questions about the work at all or anything that I can answer, like any questions that are going on, please feel free to ask. Because I'm just basically killing a little time right here. Because like I said, I did not announce this. I did not talk about it. I just said, let me just go live and see how many people got on. So we're up to 10. We're cranking. Yes, they need to get on there. Well, thank you, Sharon. Sharon says, I love how natural you make this feel. Yeah, it should be natural. It should be very natural. It should not be something that's looked upon the way it is looked upon. I always say if we spent as much time um, studying and experiencing the energetic side of things in this world, I feel like we could have conversations without even talking. But we're so concentrated on the physical, the scientific part, which is needed as well. And I think at some point, all of this work will be proven through science. I feel like it's all going to come together at some point. But until then, uh, hey, Jenny, 100 degrees in Texas today. That's a little warm. So Rachel's asking me, do we know we've died the moment we've died? Like when we leave our body, do we know how I just died? Do we miss our earth life? No. Okay. I mean, yes and no. So we do know when we've passed. Once we leave this body, we kind of regain, I would say, the energetic side of us, the side of us that's on the other side. So we have access to all that information all at once. So, and I don't think there's a time frame. I don't think you have to, like, somebody's got to be crossed for a year first before they get access to that info. I think it comes in right away. So as soon as we pass, we kind of our memories come back. Let's put it that way. So as soon as we pass, this part of us joins the rest of us on the other side, and then we have access to all the information. I don't want you to ever think somebody leaves this world not knowing where they're going. That's my point. I don't want you to ever think that they don't have an idea, like they're just floating around somewhere, because I know that's out there somewhere. People will talk about it that way, like, they're in limbo, or, they're not sure where they're going, or how they passed is causing them to deal with things on the other side. Yes, we all have to learn our lessons and we have to deal with things on the other side, but we know where we're going. So don't worry. Let's see. You're welcome. Do families who have passed come visit more often when someone is going to be dying soon? So Christina just asked, do family members who have passed come visit more often when someone is going to be dying soon? They can. If you feel that that's happening or experiencing it, then the answer is yes. Some people are oblivious. They have blinders on. They don't really see things that are happening around them. They're too focused on in the moment. So they kind of miss all the symbols and signs and signals. If you're somebody that's open to the idea of people being around, you will see and feel things much clearer. So yes, people can show up around more, especially if you're having a reading and somebody's going to pass soon. They might talk about somebody being sick and then saying like they're around them, or I'll say that too. Like I'm like, oh, they're around that person a lot because they're feeling like there's things going on. And somebody say, yeah, well, they're kind of like on their last leg, or they're in hospice right now. So it kind of lets us know that spirit on the other side, our family, absolutely do rally around us before we go, and they are there for us when we pass. So don't ever think you're going to pass alone. You won't. You will definitely not pass alone, even if you're in a room alone. That's why I always tell people, don't worry about the people that have passed. They're fine. We get stuck with all the crap. And they'll come visit us, Christina, because it's kind of giving us comfort to know that they're around. That's why they'll do it. But I don't want you to think they're coming in and out, because they're not. They're always with us. It's just that we're kind of more open to the idea in the moment. Like if we're doing our daily routines and we're kind of doing whatever we're doing all day, we don't really think about those kind of questions. But if somebody's sick or ill or close to passing, we start to go there. We start to go like, well, I wonder if they're around. I wonder if they're around more. And then we start to recognize things. So yeah, they do kind of use our openness at the moment to make better connections and to come through. Ba, ba, ba. Uh, hey, Amy. Hey, Gabriella. Unless you're leaving, you just wrote good night. So if you're leaving, good night to you. Is there a reason someone may be visited more in dreams than they visit others? So Tracy just asked, building on Rachel's question, is there a reason someone may be visited more in dreams than they visit others? A lot of times, if we're really connected to somebody, you might hear this, because I'll give you an example. I did a reading one time for three sisters. It was actually an in-person reading, and their mom came through, and their mom kept talking about their sister-in-law, who they all could not stand. But their mom just kept bringing up stuff around factual information. That's connected to my sister-in-law. That's connected to my sister-in-law. Finally, one of them says, "What the, what's going on here?" I said, "Well, she's making me feel like she's connecting through your sister-in-law." And then one of the other sisters said, "Yeah, she's always telling us that mom came through in a dream and she gives us the information, but my mother doesn't come through to any one of us." And we were really close with her. We were really tight with her. So the question is why is mom going to the sister-in-law that nobody cares about? And the answer to that is because it's easier. There's no expectation coming from the sister-in-law. She's wasn't as connected to the mom energy as the three daughters were. So when she's in her sleeping state, energies can get in easier. The mom can get in easier to get information across. So it's just using that person as the tool to get the information across. So don't get upset if somebody says to you, like a friend of yours says, "Hey, I just had a dream about your mom last night." And you're like, "What the hell? I haven't even had one dream with my mom." Take that as a positive. That means they're going to the people that are connected to you to maybe get information to you, to get a message to you. The person that is not as connected is more objective. They're not going to try to figure out what they were seeing in their dream. They're just going to say it. "Oh, I saw this, this, and this, and then your mom told me that." Like, boom, that's it. But when we're close to the person, we could be very subjective to the information that's coming through. We could have like our own opinions of what we think that might mean. So it's much more difficult to interpret the visit. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have one. It doesn't mean you're not going to have one. It's just an explanation on why they'll go to somebody easier. That's all. A lot of times when we're real close with something, we have blinders on and we're kind of tied in and we're kind of like buckled down, like, "I want that visit. I want that visit. I want that visit." That is a much more difficult place to be in energetically for them to come through. So they will go to people around you a lot. Okay. Um, Hello. Hey, Tracy, North Carolina. Gabriella, I see angels numbers every day. Good. And if you have a representation for those angel numbers, that's why you're seeing them. Remember, people like to use like 1111 or 222 or 333, 444. Oh, I see the angel number. It's because we know where to put it. It's because we can use it and we understand what it is. But if we see something else somewhere, like something on somebody's t-shirt or a decal on a bumper sticker somewhere or something hanging in a store window, we're not going to have a reference for that. So we're not going to know what it is. So please designate your symbols and signs for your family and friends on the other side, because they will use them. Like if you tell your mom flat out, like from now on, you're, I don't know, we're going to pick something not too common. You're I don't know. I don't want to pick something, but you know what I'm saying? The point is that you can designate your symbols and signs. They will use them. It is your job to acknowledge it when it happens, not push it away. I know it's hard to come up with new questions, right, Amy? That's a good point. So Rach just asked, how do we know the difference between our own anxiety or fear or messages from our guides on what to do in situations? Well, fear can be a great motivator. And I always tell people, there's two motivators: there's love and there's fear, right, Rach? So we need fear, though. We have to have it in our decision making. It can't just be about not having fear. Fear sometimes keeps us from doing things that we shouldn't be doing. Sometimes fear keeps us in the right place, but it's got to be like a regulated fear. We don't want to be fearful of absolutely everything that's happening. We just want to be like, okay, why am I seeing it this way? Or, what could go wrong around that? It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to be a little bit on the fearful side of things. But what you want to do is be motivated by the love aspect, that your guides have your back and that they're going to kind of tell you where to go and how to do it in the way that's positive for you. The difference between your feeling and an emotion and what's being downloaded is very, very slight. So the best way I can explain is when it comes from here up, that is your feeling. That is your feeling. And that usually takes a little bit of time. So that's not going to happen right away. You're going to get a feeling first. That initial feeling, that's the one that they're giving you. That's the intuitive side. So that kicks in first. When that feeling reaches this brain, that's when your feelings kick in. So there might be a slight delay around it. Like you might hear something about something that's going on and go like, oh, that's so cool. And then go, oh, wait a minute, that's not cool. Because this and this can happen and that could go wrong. And so your thinking and thought process takes over. But the initial thought was, oh, this is good. You have to trust that initial feeling. That is usually a download. That is usually information that is being given to you by your guides. Okay. It's very, very, especially somebody who's very in tune with their feelings and emotions, it's very difficult to separate them from the feeling that you're getting from them as opposed to the feeling that you're creating within you. So it's about staying balanced. That's the key factor here, staying balanced on all of it. Not allowing your energy to go out of balance, not allowing your energy to kind of go into a place of fear mode. Just look at the situation for what it is. Ask them to give you the feeling around it, like this good or bad. You might even see it. Yes and no are great tools to use in your head, like for yourself. Like, does this feel right? And then feel it. What I like to do is kind of imagine I'm holding the answer in my hand, and then I'm throwing it up in the air. And then when it lands in my hand, I see it instantly. So it's like a yes or a no. Like I'm throwing it up and it's landing. Boom, no. Okay, then that's a no. Don't think about the question. Don't think about how you want the answer to go. Just think about what's the thing in your hand. What's the answer in your hand at that moment? Is it a yes or is it a no? Don't think about it. Just allow it to show up. So in your head, close your eyes, throw the answer up, and then watch it, like in your head, watch it coming down. And then as the second it lands in your hand, you open it, and that's your answer. And if you trust that, a lot of times you'll be okay. More times than not. Jenny, if you start up, Jenny just wrote, what if it lands on the floor? Then do it again, Jenny, or get glasses. You're welcome, Rach. So yeah, I wanted to go live tonight. I just thought I'd go live and talk a little bit. I might do a reading in the comment section. We'll see. We're up to 20 people. Woohoo! And again, I didn't want to announce it. I wanted to just go live organically and see what happened. That's why I'm doing this. So I'm happy with 2 people in here. So we got 20. That's good. Hello, Barbara. So for anybody that's watching this for the first time, I didn't even think of that. My name is Jonathan Lewis. I am a psychic medium. I've been doing this work for close to 20 years. It is 19 now. Um, I read just pretty much all week long. So and I don't like to go live too often because I'm reading a lot. So when I go, if I'm tired, I don't want to go live. But today I had off. Today's Sunday, so I thought I would go live a little bit. I was going to go live on TikTok, and my guide said, "Nope, you're going live on YouTube today." So we're going to try to make this a little more of a regular thing. And again, I'm going to try to figure out a way to get people to go up on the screen with me so that we can do some readings live like we do on TikTok. Let's see, Gabriella. Reach ASMR. Do you believe? Let's see. Let me try to get another. Barbara's like, cool. I don't have TikTok. Yeah, right. I would be on here a lot more often if they would change their game a little bit here. It's like I said, I can go live, but I can't pull anybody up to read live. Yeah, I heard about that, Kevin. StreamYard. Yeah, I might look into that. I did use StreamYard for a couple of other things that I've done, but I didn't think about using it on YouTube. Christina, do you ever randomly go live on Evolve Plus? No, I do not go randomly live. All the lives on Evolve Plus are scheduled. So I think my next one is July something. It's pretty late. I'm not sure. But I know they post on Evolve. They'll post a weekly schedule on who's going live and when. So you should get that email to you once a week or maybe 2 times a week. So you'll know who's going live. I just went live not too long ago over there. So I think I'm somewhere in July. I don't know what the date is. But again, if you're in Evolve and you're part of Evolve, you'll get emailed when I'm going live. Yeah, Rach, you should get on there. It's a cool platform. And it's growing. It's definitely growing. So we're up to 24 people. We are rocking and rolling here. But like I said, I didn't want to announce it. I wanted to just see how organically people are, informed of it and how they get on here. Woohoo! Yeah, go check it out, Amy. It's really a cool platform. It's really cool. It's got everything you could think of on there. It's like a one-stop shop for metaphysical. So, well, welcome, Sarah777. I appreciate you being here. If I went to TikTok first and announced I was going here, then I would pull people over. But I didn't want to do that. I just, like I said, I wanted to see how this happened on its own. Who else has got a crazy question about metaphysics? Oh, thank you, Rach. That was very nice. You know what I'll do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually pick a subject and I'm going to talk about it for a little bit, and then we'll see how this live goes, and then I'll try to do a reading in the comment section. Okay. Oh wait, are your loved ones sad they aren't with us? Okay, no. Tracy asked, are our loved ones sad they aren't with us anymore? Well, no, because you're thinking like a human. So humans have sadness because we don't have them anymore, but we're still here. They're no longer part of this world. So their human side gets left here. It doesn't go with them. Okay. Now they are all knowing. They're all loving on the other side. Anything that pulls between love and fear is no longer an issue. So there's no greed, there's no ego, there's no pride, there's no sadness, happiness. That does not exist on the other side. It really is just a pure vibrational love. That's what exists. So they don't miss us. They're not sad when they get to the other side because they're already with us on the other side. Most of us is there. Like I always say, this is just a part of us playing the role of who you are in this lifetime. When you're done learning your lessons or not learning your lessons, you will go back to the other side and become part of the whole again. But you are tethered to those people for the rest of eternity. So you will see them on the other side. You will be connected to them while you're here. That's why they don't miss us. And our family and friends are always with us. If you ever go to a medium to have a reading done, don't think the medium is like creating a portal and pulling that person through for you. They're not. You are with those people always. They are connected to you at all times because they can be connected to everyone and no one at the same time. They don't have the restrictions like we do. Okay. So think energy. Where is actual energy? Energy is everywhere. It's everywhere. So it's not like it's with one person and then they're going to spend some time with that person. They could spend time with every single person that they were connected to on this planet, and be at the same and be somewhere else all at the same time. So think much bigger than we are, but realize that the sadness part is something that we deal with because we're human. So kind of lose the human component when you go to the other side. Just think like that. Like that, it doesn't work like that anymore. They're not like that. Okay. I'm trying to keep these answers really simple and kind of like down to earth. And I want to relate to people. I don't want to confuse them. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, you hear all this people talk sometimes. It's like, what the hell did you just say? So it's about keeping it simple because it really is simple. It's not that difficult. You're welcome, Tracy. F33 Nix Rising. What's your specialty in the realm of metaphysics? Mediumship. My main pull is connecting loved ones on the other side. So that's my main thing. Hey, Pam. Pam Sears is on here. If you guys ever get a chance, go follow Pam Sears. She's a fellow medium. Sharon, I feel surrounded all the time. That's great. Hopefully they're, that's just a good thing, Jen. That's a good thing, Sharon. There's nothing bad about that at all. And if you feel them around, that just means that you're connected. I want to do one more question, and then I'm going to go into something that I've been wanting to talk about real quick, but so, okay, if you're on here for the first time, again, my name is Jonathan Lewis. I am a psychic medium. I've been doing this work for 19 years. I thought I would go live tonight on YouTube, unannounced. I just wanted to see what happened. I want to see what happens, I should say. I'm curious to see how their algorithm works, or how it, people are all informed. Like, there's I think we have 2,200 people on here, and unless you actually put up a post or actually promote it, I don't think it actually gets around too often. It gets around too much. Jenny, I swear, if you don't cool it out. Jenny wants to know. Oh, animals. I didn't see it. I apologize, Jenny. I did not see the first part of that. I just thought, do you communicate with them when they are living also? I thought you were being a smarty pants. No, animals. You know what? I do, but not in the way that I would do with mediumship. So for me, it's more about factual information. So when a pet comes through, they actually give me information around their, the people that they were with, or they give me information around their house, or what they passed from. But if an animal's living, it's much more difficult, I think, to kind of validate the information that's coming through. But you can feel an animal's presence. You can feel their energy. I'm very connected to the wild animals around my house. I had chipmunks crawling out my shirt to get food. Food can be used as a great tool to get animals to come near you, but they still have to trust you. They still have to be around and feel the energy the right way. So for me, it's about keeping the energy in the right place when it comes to living animals. But when they're passed, they can speak just as well as an aunt or an uncle that's passed. So for me, it's a much easier way to communicate. I don't speak chipmunk too well. So Hope no mountain lions. No, no mountain lions. Although we've had things come through. Yeah, I'll give you an idea. Obviously, dogs and cats come through. I've had turtles come through. I've had tarantulas come through. Iguanas. Also, wild animals that were tamed. So, if a wild animal was connected to a family member, like raccoons or anything like that, deer, they can come through in a reading. I did a reading for somebody last week who actually just saved a couple of pigeons, and it came up in the reading. His dog brought through the information. So he had a dog that passed, and his dog brought through the fact that I said, "You have like a couple of wild birds that you're taking care of," or he starts to cry on the reading, and he said, "Yeah." He goes, "I just literally found two pigeons that were I don't know if they were hit by a car or something happened to them where they weren't doing well. He took them home and he was taking care of them." And the reason why he got emotional was not because of the pigeons, was the fact that his dog was able to see that. So it let him know that his dog was connected to him. So that's cool. Yeah, your pets are always your pets. So when you get to the other side, they'll all be there. So if you had like 20 dogs when you were here, prepare to be trampled when you get to the other side. Uh, Tracy Eds. Son and I were talking about signs the other day. He said jokingly that he wanted my sign to be a raccoon. Walking my dog, and a week later, and I turned around to find a raccoon following me. That's really cool. That's really cool. It kind of validates that, that's going to be the sign for you, I guess, when the time comes. Or it could be your family members on the other side validating for you, like, hey, like we've got you. Like we're saying hello. We're gonna use the raccoon to validate your conversation that you just had. So that's cool either way. Oh, we're up to 31 now. We are cruising. You know what? I want to thank you, 31 people, for being here. How about that? And I like to keep it like this is like, having a little more fun. Like it's like keeping it like down to earth, right? Just a bunch of people talking on a Sunday night. You're welcome, Tracy. Gabriella, do you sense ocean animals? Yes. Porpoises or dolphins. Absolutely. I can't say anything else. Oh, that's not true. Okay, quick story. My guy just reminded me. When I was like 20, oh my God, that was a long time ago. No, I was 30, 40? No, 30. I was 33. I was 33 and I was on a fishing trip, and we went shark fishing. And you don't keep the sharks. You just catch them and you let them go. So it's not like the worst thing in the world. But we went shark fishing, and I was on the boat, and we were going through. It was like 7 guys on the boat, and it was my turn. And I literally felt like I felt the shark coming before it grabbed the bait, and I just went like, I said it out loud to him, like, "Oh, I got one." And they're like, "What?" And the captain was looking at me like, "You don't have anything on there." All of a sudden, the thing went, it just took off, right? And the shark grabbed it, and it ended up being like a crazy shark story. I'm going to cut it really short, but we were actually in the newspaper the next day, like the local newspaper in that town. They called it the shark from hell. It took 7 of us, 4 different tries, 4 of us, like we went through 4 rotations to get this thing close enough to the boat where we can cut it loose. It was a blue shark, and it was about 15 feet long. It was crazy, but that was a crazy, crazy moment. But that was one of the first moments where I felt like, oh my God, like I felt that. I literally felt that shark coming. Now that could be very simply, my intuition kicking in, but I feel like that fish in the water kind of sent out a vibe at the moment, like let me know that was coming for the bait. It was crazy. Yeah, the funny part was they were all making fun of me because I couldn't reel this thing in. And they were all like, "Come on, you can do it. You big wimp, blah blah blah." And it ended up going through all 7 of us 4 times. We were the last boat to come back in that day, so even the captain couldn't bring it in. It was crazy. Um, okay, so S just asked, "Do you know the symbolic meaning of animals in dreams? I used to dream with spiders, and then I would see one the same day. sometimes near the same spot in the dream. So what you have to do is interpret for yourself. What do spiders mean for you? That's what you have to look at. Sometimes spiders can mean negativity, right? But some people like spiders. Some people look like, I like spiders. I look at them as something that helps me. Like if I have my office and there's a spider web in it, I kind of leave it there because I know it's going to catch all the little bugs that I'm not going to be able to see. So I'm actually friends with spiders, right? They're my friends. But some people hate spiders. So your guides might use spiders in your dreams to represent something negative for you or something that's coming up. The fact that you see them the day that you have the dream is just to reinforce for you that it has meaning for you. So it's not giving you a heads up you're going to see one. Seeing one is to validate your dream was real. Like in other words, it represents something for you. So what you have to figure out is in your dream or symbolically, what does a spider mean for you? If it means something negative and bad, then it's probably giving you a heads up about something that's coming up around you, or people are kind of sending you energy in a way that's not positive for you. So keep your shields up. Like for some people, like you see a spider in your dream, like, okay, when I wake up, I got to keep my shields up today because energetically I got to stay protected. So it depends on what it means for you. Okay. There's a lot of different books on dream interpretation and all that stuff. I never got into that because I do believe that you have your own interpretation for things. Things will mean different for different people, just like mediums. Mediums don't have the same symbols for anything. Things are different. Symbols mean different things for different people. I had somebody call me up one time and ask me what a wishbone meant. They were a medium and they said, "Hey, what does a wishbone mean?" I said, "What?" They go, "Wishbone. Like, what does it mean?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a meaning for a wishbone. I go, "What does it mean for you?" It's your symbol, just like the spider. That would be your symbol. So you got to figure out what that means for you and then stick with it. And if you stick with it, and if that's what it represents moving forward, your guides will use it more often. It's when we kind of shift and change things a lot, that's when they kind of have to start from the beginning all the time. But if you stick to your symbol, like this means this, they will use it. I promise you that. But your job is to recognize it and acknowledge it when it happens. Okay? Hold on one second. One second. I see them as messengers, but don't know what they want to tell me. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, and that's a great question, and the answer is still the same. You have to figure out what that means for you, because what'll happen of one of two things: either it'll keep happening or it'll stop happening. If you catch on to what it is, try to figure out. Like, you might want to try journaling that day. Like, if you see a spider in a dream, then the next day, journal your day. Try to figure out if, like, first of all, is it a positive day for you? Is it a negative day for you? Did it not go as well as you'd like? Like, what was kind of doing this or what was lifting it? Because again, it could represent just simply positive and negative. But if you want to get more specific, you just kind of keep narrowing it down. So if it's like say you had a bad day that day, then you might want to say, okay, now what in that day did that represent? And then when you see the spider in other dreams, kind of see the pattern, look for the pattern. My biggest thing I can say to anybody that's watching this is don't be lazy when it comes to interpreting stuff. Don't be lazy when it comes to wanting to make connections and knowing things. Really, you have to kind of do the work. You have to kind of put things together and know how it goes together. Okay. But that takes time and practice. Let's see. This is so laid back. I love it. Okay, let's see. Always doing something sometimes. Do you think your soul and this personality you are now are the same, or is the spirit stuck inside us, somewhat hostage to our personality and the choices we make? That is a great question. Your personality here is based on a lot of different things. So we have our astrological chart, right? Our signs, which represent us in a certain way. We have our numerical aspects, like our life paths and our numerology, which also help to kind of designate who we are in this lifetime. We have our genetic karma that we bring with us from other family members that have lived lives before us, grandparents, great-grandparents, parents as well, that either learned or didn't learn certain lessons. So we bring that in with us based on what's happening. Our programming and how we're raised and how we're taught to do things. There's a lot of different things that play a role in who we are in this lifetime. The lesson is the thing that's constant. The lesson is the thing that's constant. So you are here to learn certain things. You are here to take back that information with you. Your personality here can be shaped by a lot of different things. When we pass, we take that with us to the other side. The personality part will come through. Personality will come through in a reading a lot because it represents who that person was while they were here. So if somebody was like a real smart ass, I'll feel that. I'll be like, ooh, this guy's a smart ass. They're like, oh, you have no idea. But they think that person's still like that on the other side. They're not. It's just a way of representing who they were. It's a way of factually coming through. Like if somebody was played the role of victim all the time and everything was miserable and everything was bad, like it'll feel like that when they're coming through because they have to represent who they were. If I said, oh my God, she's wonderful. She's on the other side and she's like, so happy and everything's great. They'd be like, really? Because she was like miserable when she was here. So it has to represent who they were. And if I said to you, oh, wow, she was a miserable person, they're like, yep, that was her. It validates that it's her. It doesn't mean she's still like that, but that's how she's coming through to say hello. Okay. I might be level 1 autistic. You know what? I might be level 1 autistic, acted like the description, younger, not now. Screen test say level 1 autistic traits. Okay. People with ADHD, people on the spectrum when it comes to autism, I do feel like have like a little bit of I don't know, like a closer, I should say a clearer ability to make connection in some way. I don't know why. There's a lot of people that do this work that have like ADHD or they have ADD. There are a lot of people that are on the spectrum. And I think on the spectrum comes into play of symbolism. A lot of people on the spectrum with a little bit of autism have a lot of ability to remember things. They can hold on to stuff. They can remember what things mean for them. So it's a great tool to use in mediumship because it's like, this means that for me, that means this for me. They can kind of recall things much quicker and faster, depending on the type of autism, actually. But if they have total recall, like really good recall on things in their lives, your guides can use that as a way of getting information across. So they'll give you a situation that you dealt with in your life to give to the person you're reading because they know what that is. They kind of like connect with that. They understand what that is. Like, yeah, I had the same exact thing. Like they're showing me you had this, this, and this. Yeah, I had that. It's because they have the same kind of story or the same connection through different people and different information. So your guides will use that as like a download for you to use in a reading. So I do feel like a lot of people have in this field some sort of like, I'm going to say off a little. We're all off a little bit. We're not like the norm. We're a little bit off. And I don't mind that. I have no problem with being a little off. Cool. While I'm on here, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to just say this real quick while I'm on here. I have a Zoom group coming up in July. I had 2 in June that are sold out, but I have 1 in July. It's kind of toward the end of July, but there's 4 spots left. I want to put it right in here. Hold on a second. I didn't even think of that. I'm going to so I have a Stand Store link on my TikTok. If you go to my Stand Store link, you can check out the Zoom group. It's a 10-person Zoom group. It is on July 26th. I think it is a Saturday morning. It's 11 to 3. So it's 11 to 2. It's 3 hours. I'll probably go a little longer. But I'm going to do straight mediumship all the way through. Okay. So if you're interested in doing something like that, just go check out that link. I'm going to put it right here. Hold on. There it is. I just put the link in there. Okay. If anybody's interested in being part of a Zoom group that I'm doing, like I said, I had 2 in June. I think it's the 25th and 26th of June. Those sold out. And I have another one. I put up a third one anyway in July, in between my regular readings, because I think I'm booked out for the regular readings till September. So I thought I'd throw a couple Zoom groups in to, kind of like be there. I don't like not being available. So that's why I do the live once in a while, and I'll do Zoom groups. So again, go check that out. Just click on that. That should take you right to my Stand Store link, and just look for the one that's available. It's on a, like I said, July 26th. It's 11 to 2 p.m. on a Saturday morning, and all I'm going to do is readings. That's it, straight through. What time we got? 9:43. So this will be like, I might do this more often, where I just don't talk about it and just go live on here. It feels like it's a lot. I got to answer this question. Hold on. I got caught right in the middle. My guys are like, answer this. I'm like, which one? Tracy, EDS. If the energy is not like they were in life, how can you feel that feeling sense when they connect with you? Example, you just mentioned smartass in real life, but not when crossed. So they will use who they were in this lifetime to come across. It's a way of giving information. It's the same way as like factual information. It's a factual way of getting across a feeling. So when I do readings, I don't like to talk about your mom's here. She's telling me she's got her arm on your shoulder and she loves and misses you. And she thinks she's so proud of everything that you're doing. And then you're having an emotional reaction to that. So that triggers like, oh, I know I'm doing the right thing here. And I'm just going to keep talking about how your mom loves everything you're doing and you're taking care of the kids. And you want to know if the kids are seeing her and she's letting me know that she is. There is nothing there that's factual. Nothing. People love that stuff. They love hearing it, but there's no facts. Factual information is names, dates, anniversaries, health issues, incidents around passing, current events, things that are going on in your life right now, things that are happening around you, house, kids, dog. They got to give me stuff like that. That's how a real reading should happen. Okay. So when they do personality, it's got to be factual also. So if somebody was a smartass in life, that's how they'll come through in the reading. They take down that personality while they're in the reading. They're not still like that on the other side because they're all loving. So same thing if somebody was miserable. If somebody was a miserable, crappy person in life, that's not how they come through energetically. They will come through that way to validate who they are. You know what I'm saying? So they'll come through in a way that you'll go like, yeah, that's them. That validates who they are. But I'm promising you they're not still like that. So if you had a really bad relationship with somebody in this lifetime that was just a miserable person, you can actually have a much better connection with them now that they're on the other side, because they're no longer that person. So you need to let go of who that was, not forgive them. You don't have to forgive them. I'm not one of those people. I do feel like certain people, when they live this life, did not do a good job. They do not deserve to be forgiven. They do not deserve to have that kind of aspect from you to go, oh, okay, well, whatever. Nope. You can hold on to that all you want. What I want you to recognize is that energy on the other side is no longer just that person. That energy on the other side is now a multitude of personalities that have played roles in this lifetime with you in different ways. And that one has gone back to the whole. That's how you have to look at it. So don't let that one aspect or that person in this life represent the entire whole on the other side of that soul. Okay. So be open to them coming through. If the uncle that nobody likes comes through, or the in-laws that everybody hated, or the ex that passed that nobody could stand, if they're coming through, acknowledge it, because a lot of times they'll pull through who you want to hear from. So we don't want to do this to anything on the other side. We want to be open to it when they're coming through, because I promise you they're coming from the right place at this point. They're no longer carrying the aspects of the human. We're the ones that get stuck with all the crap. Just remember that one. I'm going to put that on my gravestone. We get stuck. They're fine. We get stuck with all the crap. You're welcome, Tracy. I was going to get t-shirts made. They're fine. We get stuck with all the crap. Cool. Anybody else want to ask me something? I am here. I am ready to go. I can't answer that one. You will get yelled at. Tracy, do you have a favorite reading story you can share? Yeah, actually, you know, I have the time to do it, so why not? Um, I would say my favorite reading story was kind of like when I was starting out, actually. It was way, way back. Some of you watching were in diapers, but it was pretty far back. And it was a woman that I had to read over the phone. And I was doing 5 readings that night. And she was reading number 3. And she had called the office to cancel the reading. But for some reason, it did not get relayed to me, or the office didn't get the message, or what. I don't know what happened, but she was still on my list. And if you're on my list, I'm calling you. That's all it is. I get a first name and a phone number. So I called her, and she answered the phone a little funny. And I was like, let's just say her name was Lee. I was like, hey, Lee, it's Jonathan. I'm here for your reading. She's like, okay. And I'm like, is everything all right? She's like, well, I kind of canceled it. I said, you did? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, well, you're still on my list. And I had like the time to kill anyway, because I had to wait to do the next one. So I said, do you still want to do the reading? I said, because I'm here. And she said, like, all right, okay, let's do it. So we ended up doing the reading. It was a mediumship reading. Long story short, her dad ended up coming through. Her dad was a very abusive man in life. He abused her in all the ways that you would never want anybody to be abused. Um, let's just say a really not nice guy. Screwed up her entire life. She was on all sorts of, um, you know, let's just say she wasn't well when it came to how she thought about things and everything like that. So she had booked this reading a few months ahead of time. And between that time and when she was going to have the reading, she had made a decision to leave this world. She had made a decision that she did not want to be here anymore. And she was going to kind of exit. So when she was booking the reading, it was still her trying to make a difference, still her trying to grab onto something. And then by the time the reading came about, she had already given up. So she called and canceled the reading, which to this day doesn't still click for me, like that she called and actually canceled it, which I thought was like nice, I guess. So we did the reading. Her dad came through, which is the one person she did not want to talk to. And he came through with such clear information that she had no choice but to listen. And he apologized, obviously, but he wasn't asking for her to forgive him. He was telling her to stay. He was telling her, like, you need to be here. Now, I didn't know this at the time. I was just getting information. He's showing me this, he's showing me that, and getting information around her. She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I was going to be doing that, or I was going to be doing this, or regarding work or something like that. And he just gave me a lot of info around her and kind of apologized to her for the way he was and how he treated her and how her life turned out, but made it very, very clear that this is her life now and she needs to take it and run with it. So when the reading was over, I said, I hope this helped in some way. And she said, can I just be honest with you right now? And I said, yeah. She goes, I was not staying here. I said, I know. I said, but I'm glad you stayed for the reading. She goes, no, no, no. I mean, in life, like I had made a decision to leave this world. She goes, but then my dad came through tonight. She goes, and something shifted in this very moment. So she goes, I just want to thank you for that, because it now altered who I am. Now, I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if I ever spoke to her again. I don't know anything about it. But I do know the message in this is that things happen for a reason, and that they're always watching out for us, and they want good things to happen for us, regardless of how they were in this lifetime. So her dad came through in the reading and made sure that she got the message she needed to hear to keep going. And I'm not a big believer in forgiving people when they don't do the right thing by you. I'm not one of those people. I don't turn the other cheek. I'm like, hasta la vista. Like, I could care less. But when they make an effort like that to come through, all she needed to know was that that person is no longer that person on the other side. That person is now an energy that's there to help her and do the right thing by her. But you don't have to forgive the human side. Just don't be closed off to the energetic side. Okay? So that was probably my most favorite reading. Uh, oh, thank you, Rach. Thank you. That's nice to read. I was going to do let's see if we're peaceful. So no, I can't even pronounce that. Neve. If we're a piece of a little, I almost read like a piece of shit. I'm so sorry. If we're a piece of a little soul, we have more personality to us then. So when we get reincarnated, we can be completely different. Yeah, every time you live a lifetime, you bring energy with it. You bring a personality with it. You bring lessons with it. So every time you live a life, you play a different role. Like I said, it's based on, the moment you enter this atmosphere, there's astrological things, numerology, numerical, like I said, genetic karma, programming in the family that we've chosen to be with in this lifetime to learn lessons through. That all comes together. That all comes together, makes you who you are in this lifetime. Now, the choices you make along the way, that also kind of carves out, a path for you and who you're going to be in this lifetime. So, you look at somebody who's very, very miserable in life, you could almost go back and say, oh, that was the moment they, made the wrong choice. If somebody's done really well in this lifetime, and they're very happy and kind of like blessed in the way that they feel like they've had such a great life, you can probably go back in time and figure out when they made those right choices as well. So the one gift that we're given here is choice. So you could choose to go left or go right. Sometimes going left is off a cliff. Sometimes going right brings you to a neighborhood with a bunch of people in it and everybody's happy. So it really depends on which choice you make. Everything that happens to you in this lifetime is up to you on how you react to it, what you do with it, how you process it, and how you use it. It really is up to you. That doesn't mean you wanted things to happen a certain way. It just means, what are you doing with it after the fact? What are you learning from it? What are you taking away from that experience? Are you repeating that lesson over and over? Are you in the same situations over and over? The same relationship? Oh my God, it's a different person every time, but it's the same freaking one every single time. Why is that? Because we're not learning what we need to learn from those relationships. We're not taking away from it and going like, I'm going to be aware of that next time, and then kind of pushing that to the side. You have to make sure that you learn from it. It's not just living life, it's being proactive in understanding what you're here for and learning your lessons. Always doing something sometimes. How are you with health readings? Fine. I do psychic readings all the time. Health always comes up. There's 4 major subjects in a psychic reading: health, relationships, work, and finance. Boom. That's it. Everything we talk about is going to land in one of those subjects. So I like to do things a little different when I do a psychic reading. I like to kind of peel away the onion and get to what the lesson is. I want to know, like, why are you here? What are you supposed to be working on? Where should you be putting your energy right now? And what is it I need to say to you right now that's going to help you with tomorrow and the day after that? That's what I'm looking for in a psychic reading. Sometimes people go for a reading because they're having a relationship issue. And I understand that, because you want answers around that. But the relationship issue is it's the effect of what's happening in the lesson. It's the thing that's playing out in the lesson. So if you're focused on relationships, that's where the lesson's going to go. If you're focused on work, that's where they're going to put your lesson. If you're focused on your health, that's where they're going to put the lesson, because it's what you're focused on. It's where you're putting your energy that they need to put the lesson. The lesson's the same. It might look different. It might dress different and act different, but it's the same lesson all along. And when we finally learn whatever that lesson is, don't think it just goes away. That lesson shows up every single day. What we show is that we've learned that lesson. So we go like this to it. Nope. And we push it to the side. And then the next day, that lesson could show up again. And we go, nope, I've already learned that. So my favorite example for this is kind of like when you put a mouse in front of a maze, and you watch the mouse go right through the maze and make all the right turns, and it gets the cheese at the end. And everybody goes, oh my God, how did they do that? How does that mouse know how to do that? They shock it when it goes the wrong way. So when a mouse makes the wrong turn, it gets shocked. And then it learns the next day, all right, I can't go that way. I'm going to get shocked. I'm going to go this way. And then boom, it'll get shocked in a different direction. And it goes, oh, I can't go that way. I got to go this way. And then they repeat the same thing every single time until the mouse learns, I have to go this way to get to the cheese. It's the same thing with lessons here. Your lessons will show up. They're life lessons, not moment lessons or month lessons or year they're life lessons, and they will show up every single day. When you've learned a lesson, that lesson or aspect no longer can affect you. That's when you've learned the lesson. It can show up, it could be in your face, it could be all over your energy, and it will not shift or alter who you are in the process. That's you learning the lesson. Okay? I hope I answered that one right. All kinds of relationships, Lori. All kinds of relationships. We came into this world with siblings. We came into this world with parents. We came into this world with nieces and nephews and cousins, and we that's our family unit, right? So we learn a lot of lessons through the people that are closest to us. Matter of fact, most of our lessons are learned through the people that are connected to us, not strangers, not some guy in a parking lot somewhere screaming. We're not learning from that. We're learning from the people that are tied in and tethered to us. And we repeat these lives with those same group of people or energies, learning different lessons and different things based on who we are in this lifetime and what we're here to learn. If we haven't learned our lessons, we get to repeat them. Yay, lucky us. But they get harder and harder as we do it, because you do bring back knowledge with you when you go to the other side. So you bring back info. So when you come back, you can't just get the same exact lesson. They got to make it a little more difficult, a little harder. And they might do that here too. Let's use that example. So you're in a situation here, something shows up and it's the size of a pebble. And your reaction is, it's just a pebble. I don't have to deal with that now. You throw it away. When that comes around again, whether it's 2 months, a year, 5 years later, that lesson shows up again. It's now the size of a boulder. And you look at that boulder and you go, that's kind of heavy, but I can still roll that out of the way. So you kind of roll the boulder out of the way. And then guess what? A little bit later on, that lesson shows up a third time. And when it shows up the third time, it's the size of a mountain. You can't just push a mountain out of the way. You can't just roll it out of the way. You have no choice but to climb it. That is the only way over that to the next spot, is to climb over that mountain. So the universe will eventually put you in a place where you have no option but to face that lesson head on. So I always tell everybody, deal with it when it's the size of a pebble. You do not want to deal with it when it's the size of a mountain. That's the simplest way I could describe that. Always doing something sometimes. Psychic reading. If you want information around health, always do a psychic reading. Mediumships, your health can come up in a mediumship reading, but that's not what they're coming through for. They're using your health as a validation that they're coming through. So let's just say you're dealing with a health issue, it's specific. Somebody coming through could say, oh, they're telling me right around you, somebody's dealing with whatever that disease is or that health issue is. Yeah, I have that. That's their way of validating that they're coming through, because they're giving me information that's connected to you. In a psychic reading, it's directed at you, meaning like we're getting information about what you're dealing with, how to help it, how to get through it, what you need to shift or alter around things. Sometimes shifting the energy around people does make a huge difference around what's coming up for them. Physical ailments, yes, they're physical. You have to go see a doctor. You have to take care of them. But every part of your body is connected to an energetic aspect, a metaphysical side of things. So if you know your chakras, right? Your root chakra, the lower chakra, connected to the lower part of the body. The most common one that everybody has issues with is the yellow one. That's the third one up. So that's self-empowerment. That is like having your life in control. Yellow, bright yellow. Okay, that area right there. Stomach issues, digestive issues, lower back problems. Anybody dealing with that usually has an issue on a metaphysical and energetic side of things when it comes to their self-empowerment. If you have trouble with your throat, thyroid, issues around this area, neck, that's your throat chakra. That's the blue one. That you have issues there, we call that like the silent child. It's like not being able to express yourself through voice and communication, not being able to get out what you need to say. It's kind of like holding it in, afraid to say it, not wanting to do it. And then it causes all sorts of issues here. Okay. So you can absolutely connect all the physical things that happen in this life with an energetic side. Tracy Eds, can our own lessons be passed down to our children? Absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever we don't learn, we're going to watch through them. That's why I always tell everybody, try to learn your lessons while you're here. Because if you can't learn what you need to learn, a lot of times you'll watch it play out through your kids. So they'll be in the same situation. You will now be able to see it more objectively because it's not happening to you. And then you will watch that play out. A lot of times, if you can learn your lessons, the motivation to learn them is so that they don't have to play out in the kids. It doesn't have to play out in the next generation. A lot of us here will say, and how many people watching right now want to know like what their purpose is? Just give me like a hands up. Give me a thumbs up if you want to know like what your purpose is in this lifetime. It's got to be a big question for everybody. Just give me a thumbs up. Like if you want to know what you're here for, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? If you have that moment of sitting in a chair and staring out the window, like, what am I doing here? What do I need to do? Okay. A lot of you and a lot of us actually that even do this work feel like I'll be doing readings for somebody and just flat out, they don't have their life together. Things are kind of like in the shitter, right? And they're like, well, I want to do something to help people. I want to do something that, does right by others. I want to do something that helps people like in this work. And I'll say to them, I go, how are your finances? And they're like, what? I'm like, how are your finances? Well, not so good. I got a lot of issues to deal with. I don't have money coming in when I need it. And I got bills to pay. And I'm like back on this, back on that. I'm like, okay, well, how are your relationships? Kind of shitty. My kids are not talking to me. My husband left me or vice versa. My wife left me and they haven't dealt with the issues around that. Or my family was very abusive and we're still dealing with those kind of issues. Things are not in order. Let's put it that way. Okay. So finances not in the right place. Relationships aren't good. How's work? Well, I kind of got laid off, and that's why I'm looking to do something different. And I'm like, stop right there. They're like, what? I go, you do not want to be anywhere near this work. And they're like, why not? I go, because to be involved with this work means you cannot be connected to anything negative around you, meaning like the negativity has to get spun out. If you're serious about wanting to connect with energy and wanting to do this in some way that helps other people, your motivation has to be to help other people. It can't be for any other reason. You're allowed to make money doing stuff. You're allowed to make a living. You're allowed to have things go well for you when you're doing, but it has to be the right reasons. The motivation has to be right. And they will test you along the way. And I tell anybody that gets involved with this work that they like want to do it, just get ready because the whirlwind comes in, the tornado comes in. It's like spins out everything in your life that's not good for you. Anything that's negative or could be pulling away from you on an energetic level gets spun out because they don't want to work with people. They can't work with people. That's what I should say. They can't work with people that aren't in the right place and balanced because at any moment they could spin out because there is dark energy out there here that can affect you. So if somebody comes into your life and they kind of throw you out of balance, how are you supposed to now go help other people when you can't get your own stuff together? It's not going to work. It just will not work. Okay. So that's a warning. Some people don't listen to it, but let's see. I just want to do a couple. I'm going to put up one more time. I'm going to put it in there because again, this was like a impromptu kind of quick. Wanted to come in and say hello. I will be, doing this a little more often. It's a much more controlled situation. But I am doing a Zoom group on July 26th. I will do that one more time. I'm just going to put it in there. I'm so slow at typing. Hold on a second. Yep, I did it right. Okay, so I am doing a Zoom group on July 26th. If you would like to get a seat to that, there's only 4 seats left. It's a 10-person Zoom group. I have one on June 25th, June 26th. Those are sold out. And then I have this one on July 26th. 10-person Zoom group. It's a Saturday morning, 11 to 2, straight mediumship readings, really no Q&A or anything like that. I'm really just in there to read. Okay, so it'll be start to finish. It's kind of cool to watch. If anybody's been in one of my Zoom groups before, your family members help me to move around in the Zoom group. It's kind of cool. So they'll help me somebody will come through and say box number 3, and they'll tell me to go like 3 over and 1 down. So it's almost playing like Connect 4. They'll like go 3 over, 1 down. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden I start getting information around that person. Then that person's family helps me move to the next box. So it's really kind of cool. So if you haven't been in one, if you want to try it, you want to check it out, just go to the standstill link. I'm going to put it up right now. That's the link for it. There's 4 seats left out of 10, okay, for that particular Zoom group. And again, it's July 26th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to cut out. I appreciate you being here. I will be trying to go live on here a lot more often. Okay. I just never think of it. I'm like, I never think of going on to YouTube. And then my guys are like, no, you're going to YouTube tonight. I'm like, okay, let me let everybody know. And they're like, no. I was like, what? They're like, just go live. Who's supposed to be there will be there. And I always say the same thing around the groups too. If you're in one of my Zoom groups, you're supposed to be there. And I always like watching how there's so many like connections around the people that are in that Zoom group. They might not know each other, but there's so many similar connections that come up. It happens that way for a reason. So if you're interested in that, I would love to see you on July 26th. Okay. Otherwise, keep a watch out for me on Evolve. I will be putting a couple of posts up soon over there. Haven't had a chance to do any. And I will be doing a live on Evolve Plus TV probably. I think I wish I knew the date, but you know what? Hold on a second. I do have my phone right here. So hold on a second. I could be kind of lax about this, right? Relax. We're relaxing. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, this is, no, that's June. Hold on. Okay, July 22nd. So I'll be on Evolve Plus TV July 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Alrighty. Yeah, just go check it out. It'd be great to see you guys there. Okay. All right. Awesome. I appreciate you being here tonight. This was a pleasure. I will be going. I always have to say this the wrong way. I will be going live on here again soon. Okay. My guys are making it very clear I have to be on here more often. So if you guys are around, stop in. Okay. And I'll start doing readings on here too. I'm going to try to figure out that thing with StreamYard and maybe we can start getting people up here on live. Okay. All right. Cool, guys. Have a great night. I appreciate you being here. And you guys have a great rest of the week. Okay. Keep things positive. Yeah. And this is where I don't know how to get out of here. Hold on a second. Okay. Keep things positive. Have a great night.